It's Caoch with Tim Simpson, Rashard Collins, and Jamal Mondane. Three coaches and friends talk about sports, life, and everything in between.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Coach Tim Simpson, and welcome to Hey Coach. It's the first episode of a new season. I'm doing a new project with this, as far as on the live stream as well as the audio. So, welcome to the first episode, and the start of a new beginning. Um, let's just jump right into it. We're going to talk NBA right now. All right, some things I kind of want to talk about and hit on. The playoffs that are coming up, and there's some teams that are really, especially when you talk about the lower part of the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, that are right on the edge. They're right on the edge. When you think about the Charlotte Hornets, who've been playing pretty good basketball, they're a very exciting team to watch. And right now they're sitting in the ninth spot. They're only, well, I think it's 2 games back behind the Boston Celtics, who I think have, which I'm a Celtics guy. I love Boston. I'm a big Patriots fan. Love the team, but I think, to me, as much as I love the team, they've taken a couple steps back compared to where they used to be. And as a fan, it's a little concerning. So I don't imagine how it is to the organization. But the Hornets are right there on the heels. The Celtics are 30 and 25. Hornets are 28 and 26. And they're 6 games back from first place. Think about that. 6 games back from first place. That's crazy to me. But then right behind the Hornets, you got the Hawks, who is another team. Like, I think have taken a step back compared to where they were last season. So it's I don't know. It's crazy to think. But I'll tell you, my sleeper team. I want everybody to kind of watch out for the next few years. That's the New York Knicks. They're just now acquiring. I think it was last week or probably the week before. Cam Reddish to go along with R.J. Barrett, who they were teammates there at Duke. That's huge. That's huge. As another wing player that that's played with R.J. Barrett, and R.J. Barrett has been playing pretty darn good basketball here as of late, as well as Julius Randle. But to add those two on there, and I believe Cam Reddish is what 6'8", can play a small forward, play a two guard, can guard positions 1 through 4, maybe 5 if you really press it if you need to. He can get up and go. He can shoot. And like I said, the fact that he's a good defender with those two together, now you got it on the wings. They're looking pretty good. Kemba Walker's been playing really good. I'm so happy for Derrick Rose to be able to come back from the injuries he's had, and be able to be. He may not be the same player he was when he came to the league, when he was just jumping over everybody and just dunking over everybody. But at the same time, he's realized I'm older. My game's got to change. I look at Vince Carter. Vince Carter did the same thing. Vince Carter was dunking over everybody. Everybody remembers when he was in the Olympics and he dunked over that 7-foot dude in the Olympics. Just dunked on him, just bam. But he realized, hey, I got older. I can't jump like I used to. I can still jump, but I can't jump like I used to. Let me change my game up, and I love seeing that from Derrick Rose. So I think the New York Knicks they've put together something real nice. If they can keep their young talent together, they can keep developing like they're developing them. With, like I said, Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose there. They've got Quentin Grimes, who played I believe I think Quentin was out of Kansas, University of Kansas. Of course, Julius Randle, and like I said earlier, Cam Reddish, R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, who I think is a very good center. Sometimes a little bit underrated, but he's a tremendous defender. Can get up and down the court, and it's not really going to hurt you offensively or defensively. He plays his role, runs the lanes, and he does a phenomenal job. I really like his game. The New York Knicks, as much as like I said, I'm a Boston guy, can't root for the Knicks, but they're gonna be nice. They're gonna be dangerous. And with the problems that the Hawks are having, I read in a report that they're looking to find a new home for Collins, and I'm like, why would you want to do that? He's a phenomenal player. You got to be able to figure something out, and I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of these teams is that some of the players get a little too big for themselves. I think they deserve so much more money, and then some of the organizations just don't want to pay guys money. So you have that standstill there. So I'm hoping they're able to keep the team together, keep moving forward. But like I said, the New York Knicks, I, I watched them play, especially when they played against the Lakers. I believe it was last night. And it took I think LeBron James had a triple double, and I believe they won in overtime. But the simple fact is, man, I mean the way they came out and they were shooting the ball, whew, that's a bad team. That could be that team could be a serious problem. Speaking of the Lakers, I also want to talk about the number 15 in the Eastern Conference, which happens to be the right now at this present moment the 76ers, Philadelphia 76ers. I, they're in fifth position right now. They're 32-21 right now. They're 18-13 in the conference. In their division, they're only 4-6, and they have a one-game winning streak right now. Maybe two. Because I don't know if this was posted after they won or before they won their last game. But yeah, they worry me. They really do. They have a really good roster, but I think because of poor management and some babiness on Ben Simmons' part, that team is quickly missing their window. Number one, Philadelphia. Yeah, I know they're not watching this because I'm not that big. But if somebody else is watching this and sees that, is listening to this, Philadelphia, you will never, ever get another star of Ben Simmons' caliber. Never. And I think you might have just messed it completely up. Um, Ben Simmons is 6'10", an unbelievable defender, freakish athlete, vision that is from the gods. And our issue is the fact that what everybody's making, well, he can't shoot the three. He can't shoot a consistent jumper. He's horrible from the free throw line. Oh, he just doesn't have that fight, that dog in him, that killer instinct. You're right. He doesn't. All those things are true. But I look at somebody like Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd came in the league, could not shoot. Not that great of a free throw shooter. I look at LeBron James. LeBron James was not a very good or consistent three-point shooter when he came to the league. LeBron James has always been horrible from the free throw line. But he kept working. He kept going. LeBron James is definitely more consistent. So I'm still not putting him as an elite three-point shooter, but he's a more consistent three-point shooter. And like I said, going back to Jason Kidd, towards his tail of his career, he became a very consistent three-point shooter. But we don't question the fact that Jason Kidd couldn't shoot the three-point shot. We didn't question that. It was, Jason Kidd, he goes out and plays great defense, and and he passes the ball so well, and he does this and he does that. But no one was saying, Jason Kidd, you need to work on your shot. No one ever said that, and I don't. I'm not understanding why that is. When it comes to that, they look at Ben Simmons and they say, well, he does everything else so well. Why is he not such a great three-point shooter? Look at his career. They didn't ask him to be a three-point shooter when he was in high school. He was not asked to be a three-point shooter when he was in college. He wasn't asked to be a three-point shooter when he got into the NBA. They never asked him to really, truly change or work on his game. They told him to go out there and just play ball. Now all of a sudden, it's, well, you need to be a better three-point shooter. You need to make sure you get to that free throw line. But here's the thing: if he's not being coached that way, I put this from on his high school coach all the way up to current coach right now. Even Doc Rivers. As much as I love Doc Rivers, I think he's definitely a Hall of Fame coach. I've loved Doc Rivers for the longest. I thank you, Doc Rivers, when you went to Boston. You helped bring us another championship. Love you, man. That's on you too. When you came in and took over that coaching job, and you knew what you had coming in with Ben Simmons, what you should have, if you didn't, I'm not saying you did or you didn't, but if you didn't, you should have sat down with Ben Simmons like, look, you're great. You're a great defender. You pass the ball well. You're a great leader. I need you to step up and do a little bit more. So here's what we need to do. And give him a plan. Work it out. Say, hey, this is what we're gonna do. Here's point A. Let's get to point Z. And this is all the steps we're gonna take, and this is how we're gonna help you become successful. But I don't think Doc Rivers or anybody else in the organization did that with Ben Simmons. Because I know high school coaches did. I know LSU coaching staff didn't. No one did. Now, that once again comes back to, I put my coaching pants on. You as a player, okay? This is my fundamental issue with most NBA players. You're getting paid millions, and I mean millions of dollars to play basketball. All you have to do is get up in the morning, go brush your teeth, do your little workout, come back, eat whatever your routine is, go back to the gym, go practice with the team, hit the weight room, come home, do whatever you're going to do, go to bed and wake back up in the morning and do it all over again. Your whole life is revolved around basketball. You mean to tell me you can't improve your craft? I know that's a lot. When I started coaching middle school basketball, heck, I even back up a little further. When I started coaching uh, in the YMCA, little kids, talking about fourth and fifth graders, coaching them, I had them for, I think, what was it, 3, 4 weeks? And I saw an improvement from day one to the very last day. And you're going to tell me that you as an NBA player playing basketball, and that's your only job you have, you can't improve? When I had kids for 3, 4 weeks and I saw improvement, come on. Your heart's not in it. You talking a good game. This is what I'm seeing is you talking a good game. A lot of these players, you can tell the ones that truly work on their craft because they get better every single year. Say what you want to about LeBron James. His transformation from the time he got into the league until now, he has gotten better every single year. He's the only one that has sustained it for that long and been such a great player. And he makes his teammates better. That's what gets me when it comes to him. I'm not going to get into the GOAT debate when it comes to that because I believe it in whatever era, they were great players. Michael Jordan was the greatest in his era for what he was asked to do and for what he did. Kobe Bryant, greatest in his era for what he was asked to do and what he did. LeBron James is the greatest in this era for what he's been doing because he's been doing it for the longest. I mean, I'm hoping everybody understands what I'm saying when I say that. I'm not saying that LeBron James is the greatest of all time because, like I said on shows before, like I've said in barbershop talk and everything else, if you're going to say he's the greatest of all time, if you're going to say Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time, what are you basing it on? Because everybody wants it when it comes to Michael Jordan, it comes to LeBron James, they want to say, oh, well, Michael Jordan went to 6 finals. You know what I'm saying? He's 6-0. That's great. Cool. Bill Russell has 11 championships. 6 championships is not greater than 11. So if you're basing it on championships, Michael Jordan is not the greatest. Sorry. If you're basing it on scoring and points, Michael Jordan's not the greatest. LeBron James is not the greatest. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest. He got the most points. So my question is, how are you gonna what are you basing it on? You can't base it on just one category. Even if you try to base it on overall, who was the most important to their organization, I would give a nod to Jordan. Because if you look at Jordan's teams, other than dominant players of himself, he had Pippen. But what he did have, and this is what I'll say, this is how Chicago had structured that team, they had unbelievable role players. Michael Jordan was the man on that squad. There's no doubt about it. But they had some unbelievable role players. They didn't care about their points. They didn't care about nothing else. They knew that if they were rolling with Michael Jordan, they were going to the championship. They were going to win a championship. Now, if you look at it in that sense, that's the same thing with LeBron James. This dude comes into the league. He comes in the league to a Cleveland Cavaliers team, and when he got them rolling, this man went to what, 6 straight finals? See, people forget LeBron James didn't have a single team when he was making the finals his first stint with the Cavaliers. He didn't have no squads. He was dragging those teams, those rosters. You name me one, and I name me one Hall of Fame player, true Hall of Fame player that was actually playing in their prime, or was a legit threat that he was playing with in his first few years, or I think it was like 5-6 years, might have been 6 or 7 years he played in Cleveland before he went to Miami. Name one. Go ahead, I'll wait. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I'll wait. You let me know. Because he didn't. You know what I'm saying? Look at Michael Jordan. He didn't go to the finals until after he got Pippen. You know what I'm saying? He had to have somebody else. And then the rest of the team they put around him, he had to have those people for them to make it. LeBron James, I want to say the next highest score to LeBron James when he first got in there, when those Cavalier teams were there, the next highest score I think was averaging only 13, 14 points a game. Think about that. If you win by 15, 20 points, you know what I'm saying, and you only got maybe one or two people that are getting in double figures, other than your main guy, let's do the math here. You're not winning a lot of games. But yet still, LeBron James, 60 plus wins, 50 plus wins, taking them to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Then he goes to Miami. All right, now they made it to the finals, didn't win. Why? Because there were still egos. Once Dwayne Wade put his ego aside, once LeBron James put his ego aside, I don't think Chris Bosh really had an ego when he came in. He was just wanting to win. But once all that stuff was put aside, and they said, LeBron, you the man. In order for us to really win, you got to take this team over. This is your team. Once they did that, what another problem? When they lost in the final, they lost to a better team. Okay, they lost to the Spurs. All right, they lost to who else they lose? I think I want to say it wasn't Golden State. It might have been Golden State. All right, but they lost to better teams. It wasn't that their team wasn't great. It's that the teams that they were playing against had a little bit extra. They had a little bit extra, and they had a little bit a little bit more to give, and they fought them on it. But like I said, I don't take nothing away from Michael Jordan. I don't take nothing away from Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Will Chamberlain, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. I don't take nothing away from them. They were all great in the era they played in when they were at the top of their games. And that's 100%. I will always say that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the GOAT discussion, I don't really get into it because no one can ever tell me definitively what they're basing the GOAT discussion on. No one. They always bring up Michael Jordan with the 6 championships. 6-0. Oh my God, he got 6-0. I don't care. Bill Russell won 11 championships. I don't care if Michael Jordan went 6-0. Don't really care because his 6 championships will never equal 11 championships. So if you're talking championships, Bill Russell is greater. If you're talking scoring, if you're talking points, now people say Michael Jordan was the greatest scorer. Didn't have more points than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So is he really the greatest scorer? If he was the greatest scorer, he'd had more points. So this is what I'm saying. Don't try to debate me on something like that when there's so many different factors that we're trying to talk about. Now, if you want to talk about who was the greatest, if I want to talk about GOAT as far as wanting to watch, now we can talk. Michael Jordan will always be my GOAT. I don't care. I'm on my deathbed. Grim Reaper himself saying it's time to go. But Michael's playing, prime Mike. I'm like, hey, I need 5 more minutes, baby. 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes. Mike about to do something special. He will always be my favorite to ever watch, ever. Okay? Now, as much as I like Bill Russell, love Bill Russell, of course, he played with the Celtics. Bill Russell played before my time. Kareem really played before my time. Because by the time I got old enough to really watch Kareem, he was at the television in his career. You know what I'm saying? Now, I loved watching Magic. Magic's another one because the way he just moved the ball, 6'9". You know what I'm saying? Moving like he was 6'1". The magic he did with the ball, like Pete Maravich. You know what I'm saying? Pistol Pete. That dude was phenomenal with the ball. When it comes to pure enjoyment and watching the game, yeah, we can talk about that all the time. Don't go debate me. Please don't. Because that's a good indication for me to say, I'll go ahead and head out because I'm not gonna debate with people when it comes to this because it's just there's no debate. There's really not a debate. Not saying that one's greater than the other. It's just there's no debate because you can't tell me what you're basing it off of. You just can't say, oh, Michael Jordan had all these scoring titles and this is that. He did this and he did that. That's great. But LeBron James has never been asked to be the main scorer of his team. He came in and straight made teams better. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I love Jordan, I, I sit there and I struggle to say, did he really make his teams better, or was he just so great himself that the rest of the team looked good? You know what I'm saying? That's where I say, because I look at it, I say, Jordan was just great. But then I was like, what else outside of Pippen? Who else was great on that team? People talk about, oh, Dennis Rodman. Yeah, Dennis Rodman, but Dennis Rodman's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you're gonna really argue with him about him not being a good player or a great player or whatever, because he's crazy. You don't know what he's gonna do. All right, so you kind of steer away from that. Outside of that, you gonna talk about Tony Kukoc? Come on, no, stop it, stop it. You want to talk about Ron Harper? No, stop it. Ron Harper was great when he played for the Clippers. That was before all his knee issues and everything else. We gonna talk about Steve Kerr? Come on now. Steve Kerr is known for the one shot that he made. Just like John Paxson. And the one shot, the one time Michael decided he wanted to pass the ball. I'm not saying Michael was a great passer. Please, if Mike, if you watch this ever, I'm not taking no shots, man. I love you, dog. You my man. You the man. I love you to death, man. So please don't think like that. What I'm saying is, I don't buy the GOAT discussion, and I never will until somebody tells me this is what I'm definitively basing the GOAT on, and they give me hard facts, hard stats. I don't care what you got to say. Because the only thing anybody ever says is Michael had 6 trips to the finals. He went 6-0. Okay. He only went to the final three straight times. Think about that. At all the time that Michael played in his career, he only went to the final 3 straight times. He did twice, but he only went 3 straight times. Now people can sit there and say, well, if he wouldn't have had to retire, or if he wouldn't have retired, then he'd have been 7. Okay. But he did. And let's be honest, I don't know if he would have. I don't know if he would have. Because that Knicks team had really stepped up. They were playing unbelievable. And even if they did make it to the finals, I don't know if they would have won it. Because I don't know if they would have had enough to beat the Houston Rockets. I don't know. And I don't know after that following year if they would have had enough to still even beat the Magic. Because you have to remember, Shaq was still there. Penny was still there. Nick Anderson, D3 Scott, they were all still there. So there's a lot of factors, and we can always play that what if game. Yeah. What if Jordan wouldn't have, okay, what if he wouldn't have retired? So would he still been the GOAT if he'd have got knocked out by the Magic? Would he still been the GOAT? Would it still been a question if he went to the finals and the Rockets knocked him off? 2 years in a row, because I remember the Rockets went back to back. That was when Jordan was gone. So if Jordan would have been there, are we saying that Jordan would have knocked off the Rockets? I don't know. I can't say. I'd say it would be very interesting. Now that'd be a discussion I would love to have. But we don't know. We just don't know. Okay, so we're gonna move on because, like I said, we can sit here and talk about like this topic is going on a whole different. It's going on a whole different level because, like I said, I can talk about this all day because I get people ask me about this all the time. Me being a coach, former player, this and that, and they always ask me about Michael Jordan, this and that. I've been on podcasts where they've been asking me the same question, and I give them the same answer. It's like there's certain things. If we're talking players, there's certain things I give the nod to LeBron than I will. But I'll give the nod to LeBron before I will give Michael Jordan. I just think as an overall player, as a team player, Jordan or LeBron James is a better overall team player. Jordan mainly looked out for himself, his scoring and everything else. But the problem was he was so great. How can you deny that? I'm not mad at him for that, but at the same time, as a coaching standpoint, it's like, hey, or as a player standpoint, how can I be ready for a shot when I'm not really getting the opportunity to shoot the ball? Now, what I noticed in Jordan's later in his career later, he took his time. And that's the way I coach a lot of my players now is, especially when I got a player that is great and that can take over a game at any point in time. I tell them to pace themselves. First quarter, you know, kind of probe the defense. Maybe tackle a little bit, but look to get your teammates involved. See how the defense is going to react. Second quarter, kind of doing the same thing, but you're being just a little bit more aggressive. Okay, and we're kind of looking at look at your spots to kind of score. Definitely take advantage of it and utilize your teammates. Third quarter, now we're starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Now we're starting to push a little bit more, and especially if the game is even if we're winning or if we're losing, if we're losing, push a little bit more. Okay, if the game's even or we're up, keep probing. Save what you really need to do for the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, especially if you're one of those players that can take over. Fourth quarters, that's lunch. Hey, that's lunch and dinner right there. You've been snacking all game. It's Thanksgiving afternoon. You've been snacking all day. Now that turkey done came out the oven. They done put them deviled eggs on the table. You got that cornbread out there. You got them rolls out there. Man, it's time to eat. It's time to eat. Fourth quarter, it's time to eat. And that's how I coach them. Like, hey, it's time to eat, man. Go out there and go out there and get it done. Let's finish this game off. Let's go. And that's what I noticed that Jordan was doing a lot more of. He wasn't trying to press himself so much at the beginning of the game. There were some games I watched, he may only had 10 points at halftime. I know one game he had 6 or 8 points at halftime. Finished the game with 43. Finished the game with 55. Finished the game with 60 plus. And then you'd be sitting there looking, Michael Jordan scores 63 points. You're like, wait, where did he get to 15? And you're trying to figure that out. And that's how Michael was. And like I said, when it comes to LeBron James, he's not going to wow you with his scoring. If you notice, most of LeBron James' highlights are either him dunking or a pass that he's made. How many highlights can you say are Jordan or Kobe Bryant making an extremely sweet pass to a teammate? Once again, you go ahead. I'll wait. I'm not saying they didn't pass the ball, but I'm telling you right now, their passing highlights probably got some serious dust on them, or an archaeologist like Indiana Jones is going to have to find them when this comes up again. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that those passes from those two, just those two, far and few in between. Far and few in between. Love them to death. Love them to death. Love them. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? The mama mentality. Y'all peace. Man, but they're not passes. But they weren't asked to be. That's what I'm trying to get at. You got to think about it when you look at this. What are they asked to be? Jordan was asked to just go out there and dominate. That's all he was asked to do. Same thing with Kobe Bryant, for the most part. LeBron, I don't even think anybody asked him to do what he does now. That's just who he is. You go back and look at his time when he played in high school. Look at the time when he played in high school. He was the same type of player. I mean, yeah, he'd score, but if you noticed, he was making the same type of passes back then. He was getting his teammates open. His teammates were eating just as much as he was eating. Yeah, he was a star, and he took that, put that on his shoulders, said, y'all, come on, let's go for a ride. And he went out there and did his same, and he did the people, bam. No look pass here. Ooh, I'll leave to another guy. Bam. Pass between three defenders. Guy gets layup. And loves it. And the dude is still making the same plays now. Doing the exact same thing now. And you're gonna tell me he don't deserve to be in that discussion? Like I said, I'm not gonna get in the discussion. Not like that. But you're gonna tell me he don't deserve to be in the discussion. Oh well, he had eight straight trips to the finals, but he only won 6 times, or he had 9 or 10 straight trips to the finals. He only won 6 times though. Or 5 times, sorry, 5 times. He only won 5 times. Okay, whatever. At least he went. How many of these other players, how many of these other teams haven't been to the finals? You can sit there and talk about somebody, maybe make it to the finals, but you made it to the finals, but you didn't win nothing. Where were you at? Did you even get an invitation to the dance? Were you that one dude or that one chick that was sitting over the sideline or in the cafeteria waiting for somebody to ask you to dance or whatever? You didn't even get asked to the dance. So you know what I'm saying? It's like that. Well, I think it was Chris Brown. Chris Brown that said it on that one song. Look at me now. Like how you gonna hate from the outside of the club when you can't even get in? You hating from the outside, ain't never been in. Don't even know what the ambiance is. You don't know what the candlelights are. You have no idea if they put the little mints on the back of the toilet in the bathroom. You don't know. You ain't never been there. How you gonna talk about somebody who's been there but man fell short a couple of times, for whatever reason it was? But they been. You ain't. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let me get off there. Let me get off there. Let me get off there. Because if not, this whole show gonna be just about me just going off on people talking about LeBron and Michael Jordan and all this and that. So what we're gonna probably do at some point in time, because I have a question, and my question is, what's the worst situation in the NBA right now? Is it what's going on with Philadelphia 76ers and Ben Simmons and how they handle that, or what's going on with LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers roster in general? That's my question. We're gonna, what I'm saying, we're gonna figure out how we're gonna put a poll up, and that way you can vote, and that way when we do our next show, we'll answer that. We'll answer the questions of that and everything. But I'm wondering, what's the worst situation, Ben Simmons or the Lakers right now? All right, and maybe we'll do another poll. Who do you really think is the greatest of all time? Is it Michael Jordan? Is it LeBron James? Is it Bill Russell? Is it Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? You know what I'm saying? Who do you think is the greatest of all time? Yeah, we'll have to find that out. We'll find that out. Okay, so we're gonna move along. We're gonna move along. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about. Let's see. Can you pull me up the stat for the or the numbers for the Western Conference playoffs, the seedings and everything? Let's see if we can pull that up for me. Now, when we talk about teams, and this is what gets me right. When you look about back to last season, right? You know, Bucks were pretty much dominating most of the season. I honestly, where the Nets are right now in the seventh spot, that's honestly where I thought they would be. I thought the Celtics would be a little higher, but I'm surprised about the Bulls. The Bulls are definitely a lot higher than what I thought they are, but they are playing exciting basketball. I watched 3 or 4 games of that team, and I mean, I'm highly impressed with the young talent that they got and the veterans that they got. DeMar DeRozan is playing unbelievable. Zach Green, I've loved that dude's game since he was at Minnesota. It's phenomenal. And then them adding, I think the best move Chicago did was when he added um, Lonzo Ball. Oh my God, he's approved. Now he's one of them I'm talking about. Talking about Ben Simmons. Look at Lonzo's shot. Horrible. I mean horrible. And it wasn't that he. And then he was a decent shooter. It was horrible because it looked like something that came out of the medieval times, and he was never able to get his true form back. Like he was transforming from a werewolf or something, and something messed up with the transformation, and he just couldn't get himself like all the way. It was just his shot was horrible, but he knew basketball is my life. If I really want to do this, I need to work on my craft. If I need to change my shot, let me change my shot. He changed his shot. And look what he's doing now. I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, I love Lonzo Ball. I love his game, um, and I'm excited for the Bulls for that. But like, I look at Miami Heat. Miami Heat right now sitting number one East Conference at 34-20. They were up there last year, and I quite honestly think they could have won the championship last year, and definitely the year before. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, I'm excited about that. But like I said, if we're looking at the Western Conference, and I'm looking at the Western Conference, you got the Phoenix Suns playing lights out, 42 and 10, 42 and 10, Pimpin'. Come on. And then I'm telling you, do not sleep on the Golden State Warriors. If you do it, you're gonna be made a fool. Do not sleep on those Warriors. Why? They've been there. They know what it takes to win. You know, I like the Warriors. I'm be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of Steve Kerr as the coach, nor am I like. I'm kind of like the same way with Steve Nash in Brooklyn. Um, because the reason why I say that is because when I look at the Warriors are the way they were because they were built by Mark Jackson. When Mark Jackson was there, that team was built through Mark Jackson. Now people can sit there and I've heard somebody say, "Oh, Steve Kerr's a great coach." I haven't really seen it yet. You can look like a great coach when you have tremendous talent because your talent makes you look good. But I haven't seen it when the talent ain't there. When Curry was hurt, when Clay was hurt, when Draymond was out, the Warriors struggled. So you're telling me that he's not a great coach just because those guys are out? Because if you're saying that, then what you're saying is those players are the ones that make the team, not the coach. I've coached several teams that did not have very good talent, but we were able to win. Why? Because number one, I imprinted my style, my discipline on those teams. I don't care who's out there. If our star is gone, next man up, and you better come to play. If not, I'm gonna find somebody else. You know. And right now, the Warriors are clicking. Curry's been playing. Steph has just been playing his mind. I don't know if he's playing for. I don't know if he's like in love and basketball. He's playing for H's heart or something. I don't know what's going on, but he playing some unbelievable basketball. And always been a huge fan of Curry, even though I don't like Curry, and I know I know it sounds contradictory. I'm a huge fan of Curry, but I don't like Curry when it comes to me coaching youth because they go out there, they watch him shoot those crazy shots, and it messes up their shot. So therefore, they're doing all this stupid stuff, shooting the ball, but they're not paying attention to the work he puts in. And I know Steph puts in a lot of work with his shot and his game, and that's the reason why he is the way he is. But the thing is, kids are not seeing that. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna shoot like Curry, and they're going out and doing all this stuff, and they're not putting the same type of work in. Therefore, it messes them up. And then what happens is they get with a coach that just like, yo, you're not Curry. Kills their confidence, kills their drive. Now the kids just lost the love for the game. So as much as I love Curry, Curry, if you ever do watch this, stop it. At least get on the air and tell the kids, hey, listen to your coach. Work hard. He can come shoot like me. Let's do something like that. I'm just asking for some help here. But looking at the rest of the field here, you got what I'm saying the Suns, like I said, 42-10 right now. The Warriors at 40-13. The Grizzlies, Memphis, Ja Morant got them boys playing 37-18. I mean that team is. I'm telling you, that team is dangerous with Morant and uh Jackson. Oh, those two, that duo right there, that's a dangerous. Them some bad boys right there, and they're gonna be a problem for some years to come if they're able to keep them together, which I think they will. But they're gonna be a problem for some years to come, because those boys, like I said, they're some horses. And then you got coming in fourth. You got right now. You got the Jazz, which I think they're just maybe. I think they're one player away from being that team. Mitchell's great. Gobert's great. I love Conley. To me, I think a lot of their issues is at the small forward position. I think they're pretty decent um, at the one, the two, and the five, of course. The four, they've got some pieces there, but I think their problem is at the small forward position. And I don't think they've quite figured it out yet as far as what they're trying to do. But I think that's where their main issue is. But no, we'll see. The Mavericks, I'm kind of surprised at them being in fifth place, but at the same time not, because they've had some key injuries. They're coming in at 31-23. So I'm a little surprised at that position. I thought maybe they would probably be in maybe third or maybe fourth. But they're definitely well within striking distance and might be in a better position being there to make a run to the finals than being the top seed. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how they are. The Nuggets, um, definitely kind of surprised that they're in the sixth spot right now at 29-24. Nurkic is playing unbelievable. The Joker is, I love the dude. He's just a phenomenal talent. The way he can control the basketball in the post. He can shoot, get the rebound at his size and go coast to coast. His passing is unbelievable. The dude is a walking triple double, and I mean, that's just. I'm telling you, that's at that position. The only other big that's doing that right now is Embiid for the 76ers. I mean, the only one that's even close to that is Embiid. To see that those two are probably the front runners for the league MVP, I'm loving it. I love it because I'm tired of hearing people saying, the age of the big man is dead. This and that. Now, I'm not a big man. I'm only 6 foot 6'1", on a good day or a good sized curb. But I've always loved the big man. As a guard, I love being able to come down the court, knowing I got a dominant big man on my side. All I gotta do is get down the court, feed him in the post, tell him to go eat. Like, hey, dinner served, big man. Better go get it. So I love that those two are actually at the forefront right now of being the talks of the league MVP. The Timberwolves are a disappointment to me. They're not as big of a disappointment as the next two after them. Actually, the next three after them. But Timberwolves are a huge disappointment to me. I don't know what's going on with Big Cat. The games I've watched the T Wolves play, he's done more whining than he has playing. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. They're 25 and they're 28-25 right now. but they're not as big as a disappointment as, like I said, the next 2 to 3 teams I'm about to talk about. The next one is the Clippers coming in at number 8 in the conference right now, in the Western Conference right now, at 27-27. They have not been able to figure it out since Kawhi Leonard has came to that squad. That was probably the dumbest move I've ever seen in my life. Bringing Kawhi Leonard and Paul George in. Those two have not worked out at all. At all. I love Paul George, love Kawhi Leonard. Paul George probably should have stayed with the Pacers. And to be honest with you, probably should have stayed with the Pacers. And Kawhi, you probably should have stayed in Toronto because you had that place on lock. And with the squad they had, they didn't have a lot of superstars. They really just had Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry. And Kyle Lowry was not much is not much of a superstar, but he played his role well. And they had a great squad. And you decided to go to LA for whatever reason, think you're gonna take over LA from LeBron and the Lakers. That was stupid. Um, y'all have not done anything. You know what I'm saying? Then with your lack of competitiveness, and I'm talking about Paul George, and I'm talking about really Kawhi Leonard taking so many days off on load management. Man, get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to. I'm tired of hearing about that load management stuff. Players of today are weak. I don't understand it. I can't figure it out to save my life. They're, from what I'm seeing, they're weak mentally and they're weak physically because the game schedule has not changed at all. It has not changed. But instead, you're telling me Michael Jordan, who was getting body slammed by the Detroit Pistons, Larry Bird, who was taking shots to the forehead and to the eye from different players. I mean, it was legal. It was almost legal for you to seriously take somebody to Suplex City, like Brock Lesnar does in WWE. Take him to Suplex City and maybe get a 1-game suspension. Maybe. At the very least, you get a technical foul. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. And you talking about those guys are playing every single game, all 82 games? And you talking about, oh, well, I got to take care of my body. Stop it. Stop it. You wonder why you can't. And you wonder why you can't win a championship. Can't win a championship. You don't have the. We talk about Ben Simmons not having a fight the dog in him. What about these players taking these days off? What about them for load management? What about them? I get it. Yeah, you making millions of dollars. You're worth millions of dollars. You're an investment to the team. The team, they're investing in you. I get it. I understand it. But don't talk to me about, what I'm saying. That's why don't talk to me about the game of today being so great. It's not the game today is not that great. I don't really. I stomach watching the NBA at times, but I mean, it's when I think about the NBA today compared to the NBA back when Michael played, back when Bird played, those were games because they were fighting, literally fighting. You know what I'm saying? So every game was that important that they were going out there and giving their all. Superstars and all. They were giving their all. And they were playing every single game. There would be nothing more frustrating to me to go to a game, to go watch LeBron James, get there, and they announce, oh, LeBron James is not playing this game. Like, I flew halfway across the country. I live in Kansas. If I want to go see LeBron James, I'm gonna have to go somewhere, over on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Depending. And that's and then if I get out there and you're gonna tell me that he's not playing, that's the whole reason why I'm coming to watch. If it's LeBron James or if I want to watch the Clippers, to watch Kawhi. If it's Kawhi, if it's I don't know, Giannis, which I don't really remember hearing too many times Giannis taking too many nights off. I mean, I'm sure he has. I'm not gonna say he hasn't. I'm not gonna sit there and try to say, oh, Giannis is. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm just saying I don't remember hearing too many, and I haven't heard too many times of him taking time off. So I don't know. But like I said, don't talk to me about today's game or GOAT discussion, this is that, because all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spit just facts at you. That's all I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna ask. I'm not even gonna spit them at you. I'm just gonna ask a question. Talking about, oh, well, LeBron's a GOAT. Okay, Or Michael's the GOAT because he did this. Oh, okay. How many championships did he win? Oh, okay. How many championships did Bill Russell win? Oh, oh, okay. How many points did Michael Jordan have at the end of his career? How many did the Kareem have? Oh, okay. That's all I'm gonna do to you. I'm just gonna ask you questions. That's it. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna ask you questions. Can't say nothing after that because I learned a long time ago. Yeah, I learned a long time ago. You can't argue with stupid. Don't try. You'll lose more brain cells trying to argue with stupid people than you will anything else. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end this show because, like I said, y'all done got me off on this thing talking about LeBron and Michael Jordan. But what we're gonna do is, what I want to do is, seriously, we're gonna look at putting a poll up. I want to know what you think the worst situation is right now: Ben Simmons and the 76ers, or the Los Angeles Lakers organization as a whole right now. I want to know what your thoughts are. Okay, so you can always um, catch this show on the Hey Coach um, our Facebook page. We have our Facebook page that we're on, which is the Timothy Richard and Jamal Facebook page. You got the Hey Coach podcast, which is on Twitter. So we'll be getting out more of that information out. And as you can see, it's scrolling down the bottom of the page of everything that you can catch us on for the podcast social media. Definitely, please go check us out. Give me any type of feedback you have. Any type of feedback you have, I love it. If you have any ideas, you say, "Hey, you know what, Coach? This is a topic that I've been wondering about. Think you can hit it up for me? Hey, we'll do that. We'll take a look at it. We'll sit there, put something together, and we'll be able to address some of those things. But our thing is we want to get into fan interaction. We want to get in interaction, and talk things out. If there's a subject, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, anything with women's sports, NBA, NCAA, whatever it is. We're wanting to talk about it. So yeah, this has been fun. I look forward to hearing from everybody, catching the feedback. Like I said, check us out on Facebook, our YouTube channel, Twitter, and Instagram, and be ready for more content. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Ready to rock with this bad boy. And in closing, I just like to say I want to give a big shout out to my producer, Anthony Simpson, who's done a phenomenal job with this, all the graphics and everything. Please do not think that I did any of this stuff. I can't even draw a stick figure, let alone put any type of graphics on a green screen back behind me and do none of this other stuff. So this is not me. I ain't do none of this stuff. Like I said, Anthony Simpson, my brother, a big bro. He did all this for me. He's doing a phenomenal job. So whenever you get a chance, go over there and tell him great job, because I know I will. So in closing, I want everybody to make sure you have a wonderful day. Be good to be good to each other, but most importantly, be good to yourself. Okay, because you cannot begin to be good to somebody else until you're good. All right, take care of your mental, take care of your spiritual, take care of your emotional, and take care of your physical. All right. Everybody have a blessed day. See you later.